Do you know it is dangerous to use this camera? Why? Well, it's the XP version. There are no security updates for it. You're an idiot. So, today I'm gonna review this camera, the Zenit 12XP. It's a camera made in the former USSR, but most people buy a camera like this just to use the lens and they throw the camera away. Why is that? Well, let's review the lens first before talking about the camera. This is the Helios 44M-4. It's a prime lens, M42, so you can basically use it on any camera, whether it's film or digital. It's a prime lens with a maximum aperture of 2, which will give you very good low light performance and also pretty cool bokeh. Yeah, the bokeh. That's the reason people get these. This is a sample I shot with a digital camera, and this one was shot with a film, Portra 400. And just look how creamy the bokeh is. This is just awesome. But wait, there's more. It's called the swirl. This is a very good example of the swirly bokeh the Helios 44M is capable of. Just look at the bokeh balls. They seem to be in a spiral. Yeah, swirly bokeh. But that doesn't mean the lens is not sharp. If you stop it down just a little, you'll get a very sharp image with plenty of details. The Helios lens design was inspired by the Zeiss Biotar from the late 1920s. You can expect the colors to be muted or less saturated. Well, these shots were taken with either a Kodak Portra or a Kodak Gold, and it's very pleasing to the eye and very natural if you ask me. And there's no surprise for black and white. When you stop it down just a little, the lens is incredibly sharp. Now let's talk about the camera. 12XP. XP for experience? I don't know. The viewfinder is rather simple with these microprisms on the center and a couple of LEDs on the side, red LEDs. Yes, obviously it's from the USSR. Of course it's gonna be red. The one on the top means that the shot is gonna be overexposed, the one on the bottom means underexposed, and when the two are blinking together, the exposure is gonna be correct. It's pretty straightforward. On the left hand side of the camera you'll get the ghost or ASA setting for sensitivity. Yeah, these numbers are kind of wonky, 130, 65, but... And besides that, this is basically the same camera as the Zenit E I reviewed a few weeks ago. I mean, the frame counter has to be manually reset and you don't have much more shutter speed. And obviously you'll get the usual suspect like the self timer and the PC sync connector. Oh, I need to mention that there's also this hot shoe connector if you want to connect a flash. And I should give an honorable mention for the strap. Look at that. That's the best way to advertise people that you are using a Zenit. This is how people are gonna see you, someone who doesn't care about conventions. Yes, it's a Zenit and you're happy to use it. Something remarkable about this camera is the use of a chip. Yes, it uses LEDs, so it has to use a chip, and there it is. You can look it up online. I only found info about some guy building a circuit for it to drive LEDs. Who would have thought? Which means that this camera is technically more advanced than a Pentax K1000, which doesn't use a chip. This one does. Is this camera reliable? Well, for that you gotta define reliability. What is reliability after all? Does it mean that all Zenit 12XPs are still in a perfectly good working condition? No. But what about being able to fix it in your kitchen with just a flathead screwdriver? Yes, you can. Try that with a Canon or any other big name cameras. So yeah, that is an advantage on this. If there is a problem with a Zenit 12XP, you'll find a ton of tutorials online on how to fix them. Plus they're very cheap, so it's not that big of a deal. I think it's kind of a shame when people get a camera like this just to use the lens. If you want to use a camera and get a cheap film SLR, well, this might be it. Back in the 1990s when they're selling them in Europe, those were the cheapest cameras you could find. And not everybody was actually made out of money to get themselves a Nikon or a Canon. The Zenit was quite a bargain back then. And I think they deserve some respect just for that fact alone. And that's all I've got for you today, guys. As always, thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. You leave a like, a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.